We think of our homes as these safe spaces, right? Our little fortresses. But what if I told you there's a battle happening right outside your door, 24/7? In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on what might be your home's biggest and most relentless enemy.
I mean, have you ever had this happen? It's the coldest night of the year, absolutely freezing, and poof, the furnace just dies. Or maybe it's the middle of a brutal July heat wave and your AC decides it's done. That sinking feeling in your stomach, you just think, wow, what terrible luck.
But here's the thing. What if it's not bad luck at all? What if the real culprit, this unseen force that's basically putting a target on your home's most expensive systems, is your zip code?
All right, to really get what I'm talking about, let's dive into a case study. We're going to zoom in on a place called Euclid, Ohio. Now, its location, right on the shores of Lake Erie, well, it turns the city into a total battleground for HVAC systems. So, you look at Euclid, and on the surface, it seems like any other Midwestern town. But because it's pressed right up against that massive lake, it creates this unique microclimate with a whole set of challenges you wouldn't expect. It's really the perfect example of how your local environment is just constantly testing your home's defenses.
And get this, we're not just talking about bad weather in general, we're talking about a full-on, multi-front assault. You've got lake-effect snow just dumping moisture. You've got that intense, sticky summer humidity. Then there are these aggressive freeze-thaw cycles that just wreak havoc. Corrosive salt literally floating in the air. Even the ground itself, shifting clay soil is part of the attack. And believe it or not, something as innocent-looking as cottonwood seeds.
Okay, so you've got all these enemies, but how does that actually translate into a broken furnace? Let's take a look at how the environment is literally waging war on your equipment. So, one of the main weapons the environment uses is corrosion. I mean, we all know what rust is, right? But think of it as a chemical reaction that just eats away at metal. Now, when you throw in the constant moisture and salt coming off a huge lake, well, you've basically put that whole process on fast forward. It's like rust on hyperspeed. And this is where you really see the difference it makes. Take an HVAC system, say 20 miles inland. It's going to face your standard everyday wear and tear. But you take that exact same unit and put it in a town like Euclid, now it's in a 24/7 fight against moisture and salt. You get accelerated rust on coils, on connections, on everything. And its lifespan, it gets cut down dramatically.
And it's not just an attack from the air either. Even the ground your house is built on can be working against you. In Euclid, the clay soil expands and contracts with moisture. I mean, it can literally shift enough to pull your ductwork apart or crack the concrete pad that your AC unit is sitting on. Crazy, right?
So, here's the key takeaway. It's all about connecting the dots. We need to link those super common, super frustrating problems we all face directly to the local reasons they're happening.
This really breaks it down perfectly. You see the problem like your furnace just stops working. Well, the hidden cause isn't just it's old. No, it's a corroded heat exchanger from all that lake moisture. Your AC isn't cooling. It might be because the extreme humidity from the lake is causing the coils to freeze up. Or weak airflow from your vents. Remember that shifting clay soil? It might have actually pulled your ducts apart. It just goes to show you, these generic problems often have super specific local causes.
And that's the big idea here, right? Your home isn't some generic box. It lives in a very specific, unique environment. So your maintenance plan, well, it can't be generic either.
Okay, so we've seen the problem. Now let's talk about solutions. We're going to zoom out from Euclid and give you a toolkit, a few simple, powerful rules that you can use to fight back no matter where your zip code is.
All right, first up, we have something called the $5,000 rule. And this is a really great little tool that helps you answer that huge, stressful question every homeowner faces. Should I repair my old system again, or is it finally time to replace it? And it's super simple to figure out. You just take the age of your unit in years and multiply it by the repair quote you just got. If that number comes out to more than $5,000, replacement is probably the smarter financial move. So for example, let's say you have a 12-year-old system and the repair is going to cost $500. Well, 12 times 500 is $6,000. That's over the limit, so it's a pretty clear sign that it's time to start shopping for a new unit. Okay, next rule is super easy, the 2-foot rule. Your outdoor AC unit needs to breathe. It pulls in a ton of air, so you have to keep at least 24 inches, 2 feet, of clear space all the way around it. Bushes, fences, piles of snow, anything that gets too close can basically suffocate the unit, forcing it to work way harder and, you guessed it, fail a lot sooner.
And this next one, the 3-minute rule, could honestly save you from a massive repair bill. If your AC shuts off for any reason, maybe the power flickers, always wait at least 3 full minutes before you turn it back on. That little pause gives the pressure inside the system time to equalize. If you restart it too quickly, you put incredible stress on the compressor, and that is a very expensive part to replace.
So, with all that in mind, how long should a system even last? Well, on average, a typical HVAC system will give you about 15 to 20 years. But, and this is the whole point, that is just an average. As we saw back in our Euclid example, your local climate, and maybe most importantly, how well you maintain it, those are the things that will really decide if your system hits that 20-year mark or dies an early death.
And that really brings us to the final question, the one you should be asking yourself. We've seen exactly how the climate around Lake Erie wages war on homes in Euclid. So it really makes you think, right? What are the secret attackers in your zip code? Is it extreme sun, salty ocean air, high winds, and more importantly, is your home ready for the fight?